Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap show of Week 1 is in the books for the NFL season. Well, not really, just the start of Week 1. But this show is named Birds vs. Boys. And hey, the Birds and the Boys played last night, and the game is over, finally. We had a weather delay. We had some spit. We had some fumbles. We had some question marks. We had some fireworks. We had some banners. We had some anthems. We had some drinks. We had a lot going on last night. Some rain. Forgot to put the rain in there.
Said weather.
But the game is finally completed, and the Eagles come away with a 24-20 victory at home on banner night over the Dallas Cowboys. KMS and Aiden here to recap some of this game and go through the highlights, the lowlights, and everything in between. Aiden, good morning. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to start by saying one thing. I do think that this is going to be a close game. I think the Eagles
Can't hear
win
it.
by like 5 or 6, and maybe they come up with a stand at the end, kind of like the last time we had a banner ceremony. But it's close. And that gives Cowboys fans another opportunity to be like, wow, Dak played well. And this is just the
Nobody
first
thinks
game.
this way. Like this archetype of fan that you're talking about, these people don't really
like
exist.
all the time. It's like, well, they played
Okay, I saw a
well,
random
and
Facebook comment that said this.
This is it's every year. It's exactly what we do with Joel Embiid and the Sixers. It's like, oh, well, it's a different culture, and the guys are going to dinner together, and practices are more intense. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Eagles win by 5 or 6, but Cowboys keep it close. It's a moral victory that they can build on in year 11 of Dak Prescott, and we're off to week 2.
And
we're off to week
I don't
2.
think this game's on. I don't think this game's on Dak Prescott. I think, first of all, the Eagles looked like shit. Besides Jalen Hurts, their defense didn't look good.
Did they win the game?
Yes, they did. But that's all. So that's all that matters. But I'm not saying anything about moral victories or anything. The Cowboys played a better game than I expected them to play. So I mean, I don't understand why I can't say that.
You're allowed to say that. I think we do this every year where the Cowboys played a good game.
I didn't do it last year because we got walloped by the Eagles both times.
They lost the game.
They did.
Like, that's my whole point. Is I feel like we come away from this and we're impressed by the Cowboys because they kept it close, and we're like, wow, the Eagles, I thought that they would be better. One team won the game. Like, they're not graded on the same scales, and we'll get into issues that I have with the Eagles, but I've watched it. We're getting to the point where a TV show's in season 9 and the episodes are getting repetitive.
Well, I don't fully agree with that because I don't think they are graded on the same scales because they're not. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. The Eagles are a better team. The Eagles are a better organization. We understand that and we say that. This is the same regime that they've had besides a new offensive coordinator and some pieces that they added. This is a fully different regime for the Dallas Cowboys besides Dak Prescott, even though he did not play at all last season. He did look like a different player than we've seen since probably 2023. This is the Brian Schottenheimer era. This is the Eberflus era, and a completely gutted brand new coaching staff and new players. So I'm not saying, they played better than, but I don't think they are on an even playing field in terms of grading them in scales. Yes, the Eagles won the game. We all thought the Eagles were going to win the game. I didn't see one person that said the Cowboys were going to win the game. But I think the Cowboys played better than my expectations, except for the defense in the first half. But I'm not saying, that's a moral victory. But there were things that I can take out of this game that I liked, and I'll start with discipline. It's the most undisciplined team I've ever seen under Mike McCarthy. They had 3 penalties in the first half. Usually they had 3 penalties per drive. So, it's little things like that I will take out of this game.
This is my whole thing, and it's a Jalen Hurts thing. I feel like at the end of the game, we got 100 reasons or excuses about going back to the Rams snowball game. Oh, if it didn't rain, if there's not a weather delay, if this. What we're doing this year as NFL fans is eliminating the word if from our vocabulary. The Cowboys could have won the game if this, and this happened, but it didn't. And that seems to be a repetitive trend in the Jalen Hurts era with the Eagles. There's always an if until we look up at the scoreboard at the end of the game and they've won. So you can talk about you say there's no moral victories, but there's things I can take away from. But at the end of the day, I want to be winning games, and the Eagles are 1-0, and that's all I wanted. I think the Cowboys played to my exact expectation, I guess is what my bottom line point is. I thought that they would keep it close. I thought Dak would look good. He did. I thought that they would be able to move the ball via being able to pass with those two weapons in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They were able to do all of those things, keep it close. And even when things go wrong for the Eagles, they are still a touchdown better than teams.
And yes, I want to be winning games too, but again, it's not an even playing field. The Cowboys aren't in the stratosphere of the Eagles right now. We all know that. So you have to take little things away and build on it if you are the Cowboys. The Eagles should win the game. They won the game, yes, flat out. Then they'll probably go to Kansas City next week and they'll win that game too. And people are going to say, well, if the Chiefs weren't coming home from Brazil, like I get that. I'm not even talking about the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles out of the equation. They should have won the game. They did win the game. Doesn't matter if you win by half a point or 40 points. You win the game. You play to win the games, 100%.
Correct.
I'm more looking at the lens of, okay, where do I think Brian Schottenheimer and this crew can take this team moving forward? And that's an unfortunate place to be in because it's hard to look at like right now, if that makes sense. Like I'm looking at right now, but I'm also looking at the future. I wish I was in your spot and could just say, hey, we won the game. That's all that matters. And that's the type of thing like I was able to do in 2016 when they won 11 straight games. And they're like, yeah, but Dak's only throwing for 112 yards. Okay. Did they win the game? I'm in complete agreement with you on that.
Mm-hmm. That's my biggest thing and also because I know this will come up, so we might as well get it out of the way now. The Eagles are a whack-a-mole where you go to hit one and another one pops up. So I thought the Cowboys did a great job of bracketing A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. Him and Devontae Smith have a lot of firepower in that game. A.J. Brown's first reception came late in the fourth quarter on the final drive.
Crucial catch.
A crucial catch. It was the exact time to go to that. I thought the Eagles got too conservative where teams are not going to let them just get behind that offensive line and run down 7 minutes of clock. They did kind of do it effectively the drive before. They had a 6-minute drive, but I think they're going to have to pass first. Like they're going to have to set teams up slider before coming back with the fastball, kind of do it inverse of last year. Came at the perfect time for A.J. Brown. But again, they go to him late when you're selling out on Saquon. It's vice versa, and it's all three things. It's the quarterback's legs, it's the running back's legs, it's the receiver's legs. They made a conscientious effort to stop A.J. Brown. They did and still gave up touchdowns on the first 3 drives, points on the first 4, because when you're in man and you're worried about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, your heads are turned. You're not looking at the backfield. Those plays, it get extended, and then Jalen Hurts takes off. So in terms of like passing yards and everything like that, again, you'll look up at the end of the game and say, oh, A.J. Brown only had 1 catch, and they only won by 4. They won the game exactly how they should have.
Yep. I mean, it's called game planning and taking what the defense gives you. And the Cowboys defense is probably going to give you a lot this season. But that's another day for another story. There were
today's story.
There were things that I liked. There were things that were worrisome, like but I also love like national media. Like, oh my God, what's the guy from the Steelers who has the huge podcast right now?
From the Steelers?
Former Steeler. Oh my God. Why can't I think of his name?
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. He's tweeting halfway through, I think, like right after halftime. He's like, can a team have 0 sacks for an entire season? Because the Cowboys finna do that. And then literally like a second later, the Cowboys get their first sack. And the Eagles had 0 sacks in the game either. So it's like, just shut the fuck up. Just like you're just trying to stir and use the Cowboys name as bait because that's what it is. Like the Eagles pass rush didn't look good either in the beginning.
It did not, but one owner sets you up for that. Jeffrey Lurie doesn't set us up to be in that position where we're the mindset. We don't have to do it Jerry Jones. We've talked way too much about Jerry Jones, but you're right.
And I'm not talking about Jerry Jones anymore.
Never.
You know me.
They show him on the broadcast. Like the sound of his voice is just grating to me at this point. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But you're right. I thought Eagles-wise, everything we proved to be a strength felt like a strength, and the 2 weaknesses we thought might be a weakness were the 2 weaknesses. They did not get a ton of pass rush, And you now know why the Eagles called on Micah Parsons, because I think they have two good edge rushers that are not elite, at
Yep.
least not yet, and not a lot of depth behind them. I thought Josh Uche actually, I don't know the grades, but it felt like I saw him in there quite a bit, and he might have had the best game of any of the edge rushers. And then cornerback 2, which we've talked about ad nauseum in the preseason, just never got solved. And here we are. And it was an unmitigated disaster at times during that game, especially early on, with CeeDee Lamb just picking them apart. So the two problems they got to solve, they still got to solve, but the strengths we knew they had, they would have.
What's his name? Or Jama, or the defensive tackle for the Eagles that had to come in when Jalen Carter was ejected. Like
Ojomo.
he was like the meme of that guy, like pointing to himself, like me. Not
Me?
saying like he wasn't going to play, but like who, me? I'm going to play 90% of the snaps right now. Like him and Jordan Davis didn't come off the field, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's
Yeah.
got to be tiring.
Shout out to Jordan Davis, who might be the first guy who has beaten the best shape of my life curse. We talk about this all the time. The guys who are in the best shape of their life coming into the season, then the season starts, you're like, wait, this is the same guy. Jordan Davis lost 15 pounds this offseason in the best shape of his life. First game, he's thrust into 50 plus snaps and delivered in a big way. So shout out to Jordan Davis. He is truly stamped best shape of his life.
I was up for almost all night with a toddler who, if she has the tiniest of a runny nose, she refuses to sleep, and it's World War III, and the world is ending. I barely slept, and I was just in my bed with a toddler, like rolling around and complaining. And I'm exhausted, and my body hurts from my toes to my head. I can't imagine what Jordan Davis feels like this morning after playing 50 plus snaps on the first game of the season against that Cowboys offensive line this morning.
Yeah.
And like, that just shows you the difference in humans. Like, they're not human.
They're not human.
I'm not human.
He's a different breed, Jordan Davis. There is one thing on that, and in terms of like everything they had to go through, and maybe we'll talk about the weather delay. Kevin, there was a point late in the game. I think the Eagles had 3 different opportunities at an interception, missed all 3. At one point, I also dove across my floor. I figured I could will it into their arms if I also dove for the interception. So my knee was banged up from me diving in my living room, thinking if I'd stretched out on the projector, I would be able to catch it for them. Body on the line.
I don't doubt it. For the Cowboys offense wise, like, I think the way they played the game for the most part is the formula of how they're going to have to play this entire season to win games, right? It was good offensive line play. I think Booker played really well. Obviously, the Jalen Carter stopper didn't have to go against Jalen Carter,
That always helps.
which is hilarious. My wife was yelling so hard, and I was like, well, I guess the Jalen Carter stopper doesn't have to go against Jalen Carter tonight. She's like, who? What? I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. The two on internet lore.
The offensive line played well. I thought, I mean, again, it's week 1. He had no reps in the preseason, so he's fresh. But like, Javonte Williams was running hard. He looked good, and that's exactly why you put Miles Sanders in a crucial spot in the red zone.
Poor guy.
And then you feed CeeDee Lamb, and you try and go over the top on George Pickens, and you try and get flags or long conversions. So that's the formula. I think they're only going to get better at it. My question too is, like, you have this rookie running back who has 4.2 speed, and you hand the ball to Miles Sanders because you have the rookie running back who's electric, inactive. He's not getting caught by Zach Bond, who's 15 yards away from him going down the field. And that right there was the game. Zach Bond catching him right there, in essence, could have been the game, because if the Cowboys score there, who knows what happens. And I will say, I think the weather delay only helped the Cowboys, because it was like Zach Bond catches him, which is a huge momentous play. Next play, boom, fumble. Amazing tackle by Dak Prescott, because Quinyon Mitchell's not getting caught if he's going 90 yards there. But then it's like, okay, here comes Jalen Hurts. Here comes the offense. They're going to put the dagger in it right now because that's what the Eagles do. And then all of a sudden they're like, there's lightning in New Jersey. We must pause the game. And everyone's like, what?
It did pour. At
It
least
did.
my house. You're right.
Yeah.
I do. The weather delay shape shifted that game because I think it allowed both defenses to breathe, both
Yep.
physically and mentally. Like I feel like the adjustments the Cowboys had coming out of that weather delay were really, really good in terms of different ways to generate pressure and get to Jalen Hurts. And I thought Eagles wise, like I think it just allowed them to settle because they started completely unsettled where they lost their best player on defense before they even took a single snap. And the Cowboys started the game at the 50. I felt like the extra weather delay just allowed them to kind of settle in, allow Vic Fangio to talk to them. And in ways, they also brought different versions of pressure, including on the last fourth down when they brought one linebacker, dropped back Jahad Campbell, and Dak kind of had to just throw it up there and hope for the 101 on the deep ball. Game close, but it's just like one of those not high percentage plays that you're going to take your chance on as a defense. So I think both defenses benefited from that, and it also helped. I think the weather delay really messed with Landon Dickerson, who you could see and actually hear. But right before that weather delay, he got rolled up on a surgically repaired leg, which couldn't have felt great, and then had to sit for an hour and rewarm up and just couldn't do it. That, again, just it settled the defenses and it just kind of slowed the offenses.
Did you see Trayvon Diggs like roaming the suites to try and get some food?
Hilarious. So it was like high school football. I remember in high school, our team, we had a weather delay like that, and we were playing in Hershey Park Stadium. So everybody went to the concession stand. They just left the locker room and started buying chicken fingers.
That would have been so funny if he was literally like in line for chicken fingers. He just found some guy. He's like, "Yo, can you bring this tray in here, please?"
He got close. He went to the suites. He's like, "Can I have your food?"
Can you imagine you're sitting in a suite, all drunk? Trayvon Diggs just walks in, like, "Hey, you guys got a hot dog?"
I would be so caught off guard. I don't even know what I would do. I'd be like, "Wait a second." That's funny. It was a great visual of him walking around.
Yeah, it's. I think there were definitely moments. Obviously, we saw the lack of Micah Parsons, right? I think Donovan Ezeraku wasn't fully ready for the moment, and I don't know if it was ready for the moment or just ready to go against Thor.
Jordan Mailata.
You just saw him like the size and the strength difference. Like he's not known for strength, and you put him like, okay, congratulations. Now you don't have Micah Parsons. You have to start as a rookie 2nd round pick, rushing the passer, and here you go. Here's Maui from Moana that you have to go against.
It was a tough visual as two guys who were Ezeraku guys going into the draft process, but kind of saying, hey, he is undersized. When you see him next to Mailata, I feel like undersized is underselling it. It was a staunch difference between those two guys, which was a little tough to see. But hey, that's the beauty of the Eagles' offensive line, I guess. Just big off the bus.
I'm gonna have to bring the bunny back because this was Ezeraku. This was the size that he looked like if you're watching on YouTube. He's a little bunny compared to Mailata. It was unbelievable.
Going up against the T-Rex. I guess the T-Rexes have short arms though, so maybe not. Against a
Brontosaurus / a T-Rex together.
Exactly. Other Eagles things, I think one problem solves itself. It's Jalen Carter being back. I think that helps everybody on the defense because you think about the string of orchestra and how all the sounds blend together. If he gets interior pressure, it takes pressure off your edge rushers. If it takes pressure off your edge rushers, they can get to the quarterback. If they get to the quarterback, the corners get bailed out a little more. I don't think it'll fully solve that problem because there were catches, no joke, where a Cowboys receiver would make the catch and Adoree Jackson wasn't in the frame. Which, again, just very concerning problem that we haven't solved yet. But I think some of the pressure gets alleviated simply by just having Jalen Carter back in the lineup. And I do think they settled in and found themselves.
And with a GM like Howie Roseman, you keep harping on the word yet, and I think that's perfect because I think he will try and go out and fix the positions where he can.
this is my prediction, but I just feel like if you're an Eagles fan, you should just start rooting for the Steelers to be bad, because if they're bad at the trade deadline, I think you're going to just see a Slay homecoming, and it won't take a lot of money because he's on his retirement tour,
Yep.
and whatever he has left in the tank is better than this.
Or somehow you're gonna get Slay and Joey Porter Jr. together packaged for a third tight end.
Third and fourth. Yeah, we'll take
the Eagles are actually going to re-sign the tight end that they traded to the Texans, and then the Texans cut, and then they're going to send him to the Steelers for Joey Porter Jr. and Slay and a first-round pick
and Kenyon Green.
Yeah, hilarious.
I'll do rapid fire, like 60 seconds positives for the Eagles for some like unsung hero guys. Just again with the Eagles, because you go on social media and you see this AJ Brown stat line and you're like, what is wrong with this team? It's like, it's because they're good in all three phases of the game. And one of the biggest things, the punter situation, special teams, Jake Elliott from 58, love it. Welcome back, Jake Elliott. That's awesome. And Aaron Sippis keeping the ball away from Kevontae Turpin on every punt after that weather delay and pinning them deep at like the 12-yard line. Phenomenal job. The two rookies, I didn't think, like, they did not look like deer in headlights. Jahad Campbell made some plays. He was all over the field. Andrew Makuba came in, and when he did, he made some plays in the run game. I think he just seems instinctual and knows where to be. I keep stressing this phrase, know where to be, when to be. And it seemed like he was. So those are some of the guys we probably won't talk about a ton, given we're talking about saliva a ton here. But those guys under the radar are what you need when it's these one possession games, flipping fields, making plays, being in the right position so the other team doesn't hit big plays.
And I'll give you a couple as well. I already talked about Javonte Williams. I thought, he ran hard. He looked exactly like the running back the Cowboys hoped he will be this season. But again, he was good. His first game. He didn't have any offseason touches. Two guys also, Tyler Booker. Yes, he didn't go against Jalen Carter, but a welcome to the NFL moment. I thought the lights didn't look too bright for him. He gave up no sacks, only one pressure. He still got work to do in the passing game, but I think Tyler Booker looked the part of the 12th overall pick. And hopefully they have, two strong guards in Tyler Booker and Tyler Smith moving forward. And then also I have to give a shout out to Trayvon Diggs. People didn't think he was going to come back until November. I said it last week on the show that I didn't think till week 2, week 3. And he came out, he showed out, he was looking for food, and he beat, the Cowboys are out there fining him $500,000 for not showing up to the facility because they didn't think he was working well. Apparently behind the scenes, he was busting his ass in his rehab to get ready, and came out and was ready for week 1 in prime time against the Eagles.
Yeah. He goes from they're telling me for a month there's no way he plays in this game, to him bracketing AJ Brown for 60 minutes and doing a great job on it.
I think Jerry Jones needs to pay him his $500,000 back.
Yeah, I was gonna say he earns that $500,000 back. But yeah, overall, I think this is that again. You walk away from week 1, and if you're an Eagles fan, I never at one point expected a blowout and expected a one possession game the entire time. It's what you got. Are there things to fix? Yeah, absolutely. It looked like a defense full of 11 guys who've never played together before, and a offense full of 11 guys who've been playing together nonstop. It looks like that Super Bowl was February 4th, and they just had another game February 11th. That's what that offense looked like last night. I think that's what you'll see going forward. Again, a lot of that is you got to be more disciplined. They were too hyped up. Personal foul penalties. I don't understand why we're not letting grown men flex and taunt. It is a physical football game full of grown men, and you can't flex. Ridiculous, but we'll eliminate some of that stuff. Over 100 penalty yards was crazy. That's fixable. Jalen Carter being back is a cure-all, and I loved what I saw from the offense, and you will see more A.J. Brown.
And my last thing as we leave here is that I took away was the opposite side, the discipline that I saw from the Cowboys. This was the most undisciplined team in the NFL under Mike McCarthy. We saw even moments at the end of the first half where they got the ball at their own 10-yard line and they were able to move the ball down the field to get into field goal range. And he hit CeeDee Lamb in the middle of the field with like 10 seconds left. I'm like, oh God, I've seen this before. They're going to run out of time. And they were as a unit and moved and got on the ball and spiked it in time to set up the field goal. Those type of little things former Cowboys teams could not do. And that I think goes to coaching.
That sequence, I was irate with the Eagles, who let them go from the 12 to 41 in literally 10 seconds flat without using a timeout, which was insane. I know you got to run, but just real quick before you do, would you like to apologize for Dak spitting first?
Nope. Make sure you listen to us wherever we are on podcast, Birds vs. Boys Pod, right here on the Birds vs. Boys YouTube page. If Aiden, if you would like to talk about Dak spitting first, enjoy.
Nope.
But I'm done with Spitgate. It's over. It's done with. People spit. People get spit on. People get spit over. Go to RJ Chappie, who's one of the Cowboys' biggest media guys, and he was actually defending it, Jalen Carter-wise. He's like, listen, it's not that big a deal. People get spit on all day. And then he quote tweeted himself about an hour later. He's like, well, apparently I'm the only person that doesn't think this is an issue, because he was just getting crushed. But thank you, everybody. We are 1 week in, 0-1 on my side, 1-0 on Aiden's side. We are on to the Giants. You are on to the Chiefs. But just kidding. We're going to dissect this game much more moving forward, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us. Thank you for everything. Hit the comments below. What did you like? What did you not like? Who were your thumbs up? Who were your thumbs down? Birds vs. Boys, maybe at the start of the season, it was everything we had hoped it to be. We got spit, a lot of water, spit, rain, beers, a lot of liquid in last night's game. So,
yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We will talk to you soon.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds vs. Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones.
Upside alert.
I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone. If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.